Well, Donald Trump and Elon Musk have exposed the fact that the mainstream media is nothing but a big propaganda arm of the United States government, and more specifically, the left side of the United States government. And they have been forcing this propaganda down your throat while suppressing news channels like myself for telling the truth. And by the way, your tax-paying dollars were going to fund this. Donald Trump has now exploded on the mainstream media. The good news is that as all this information is being exposed by Doge, the fact that we were funding through subscriptions and grants or fill in the blank, a lot of these mainstream media sources, now that that has come out, some of their most top leftist media personnel are now getting fired. One of those being Joy Reid. Here's her sob story.
My show had value, and that that what I was doing had value. And in the end, I'm sorry, I try not to cry on TV. And I say this is kind of like being on TV, so I apologize. And then it mattered. I see Karen is there, and she's been texting me as well. And so what I will just say is that in the end, thank you. Where I land is that the moment of guilt that I felt, that I went hard on so many issues, whether it was the Black Lives Matter issues.
I think she needs my emotional support, dumpster fire baby here. You could see that. It's fine. It's fine. Everything is fine. Joy, we should send this to Joy Reid because I think she needs it right now. Quite honestly, I'm sorry, Joe Reid, you lost your job. I really am not sorry. Actually, I take that back. I am glad that she is no longer going to have that platform to spout nonsense like this.
In America, there's a thing about both white vigilantism and white tears, particularly male white tears. Really white tears in general, because that's what Karens are, right? They Karen out, and then as soon as they get caught, it's like, Green Waterworks. White men can get away with that too. And it has the same effect. Even as the right tries to politicize the idea that masculinity is being robbed from American men by multiculturalism and wokeism, they still want to be able to have their tears.
If that's not racism kind of talk, I really don't know what is, but she sounds very anti-white. I mean, I would never say that about anyone, no matter the color of your skin. And this is the kind of stuff that she has been spouting for quite some time. In fact, let me show you her ratings, which is one of the reasons I believe she was fired, among other things. But here we have, and this is on 24/7 AG, an X post that he put out. Nielsen Media Research data shows that the viewership for Reid Out has crashed 50%. 50% since Donald Trump won the election. In other words, the American people do not want to watch your racist show anymore. And she's avidly supported BLM, the 1619 Project that promoted like critical race theory, DEI, social justice, and all these radical leftist talking points. But the good news is she is being devastated because their crap is starting to be exposed. And not only that, there's other people within MSNBC that have gotten fired as well. And I'm also going to give you my opinion why so many have gotten fired in just a moment. But here it is. This is on TV Line. MSNBC removes Joy Reid and Alex Wagner from the lineup. And not just them two. We have Daily Mail. This also just came out. Axes 3 more star shows after Joy Reid in network bloodbath. MSNBC has axed another 3 of its stars shows after canceling Joy Reid's program. Katie Fang, Jonathan Capehart, and Iman Molaiden, and sorry if I butcher that, have also been given the boot from their current time slots, according to the New York Post. So there is a media bloodbath, if you will, bloodbath as in the network laying off people there. And you know what? I have a reason why I believe that's happening. But before I show you that reason, Rachel Maddow had the audacity to lash out at her own network for firing people. In fact, she calls her own network racist.
There is no colleague for whom I have had more affection and more respect than Joy Reid. I love everything about her. I have learned so much from her. I have so much more to learn from her. I do not want to lose her as a colleague here at MSNBC. And personally, I think it is a bad mistake to let her walk out the door. It is not my call, and I understand that, but that's what I think. I will tell you, it is also unnerving to see that on a network where we've got count them, two non-white hosts in primetime, both of our non-white hosts in primetime are losing their shows, as is Katie Fang on the weekend. And that feels worse than bad, no matter who replaces them. That feels indefensible, and I do not defend it.
Two non-white hosts. It's unnerving that they've been let go. Whoa, wait. That sounds a lot like she's calling her own network racist. Ooh, I think there's a lot more going on over at NBC than meets the eye. Maybe she needs my emotional support dumpster fire little man there as well. But Donald Trump has exploded on these networks. And here's what he came out and said on his Truth Social page about this freaking cover-up story that threatens to destroy everything, because that is what media does. If they're not telling the truth, they're destroying facts and truths by not reporting on them, because that is supposed to be their job. But Donald Trump calls that out here. And here's what he says. Low-life chairman of Comcast, Brian Roberts, the owner of Ratings Challenge NBC and MSDNC, has finally gotten the nerve up to fire one of the least talented people in TV, the mentally obnoxious racist Joy Reid. Based on her ratings, which were virtually non-existent, she should have been canned a long time ago, along with everyone else who works there. Also thrown out was Alex Wagner, the sub on the seriously failing Rachel Maddow show. Rachel rarely shows up because she knows there's nobody watching, and she also knows that she's got less TV persona than virtually anyone on television, except perhaps Joy Reid. Then there's, of course, the low IQ conman Al Sharpton, who has perhaps the lowest TV rating in the history of television. What he is doing to Brian Roberts to stay on the air. The whole corrupt operation is nothing more than a legal arm of the Democrat Party. They should be forced to pay vast sums of money for the damage they've done to our country. Fake news is an unpardonable sin. So he actually went off. Now, why do I think all these firings are suddenly happening? Probably because they just lost a lot of money through some of these subscriptions and fill in the blank that the government has been giving them under at least Joe Biden. Here we have, and this is on Zero Hedge, WikiLeaks has come out, and they said USAID has been funding over 6,000 journalists worldwide, by the way, across nearly 1,000 platforms. Yesterday's report that the U.S. government has been funding outlets such as Politico, the Associated Press, the BBC, and others raise more questions than answered, though the obvious implication is that the U.S. government has effectively been propping up regime-friendly media when they peddle regime-friendly coverage, and spent years attacking independent media outlets such as Zero Hedge, The Federalist, I'm going to add Lisa Haven, and many unlucky ones who have been since starved out of business. A freaking men. Your tax-paying dollars. And of course, Politico pleads innocent to claims of 10 millions in government subscriptions. It's totally normal for them to have that. And here's what Politico responded with. Remember, they were receiving subscriptions, right? Here it is. We've never received any government funding, no subsidy, no grants, no handouts, not one dime ever in 18 years. But that $27 million in government subscriptions to Politico Pro is just a transaction. You know, akin to the government buying research equipment and software and industry reports. It's just a transaction through subscriptions, because there's a paywall and they were, just receiving our news sources at highly exuberated prices that no one else in the world would ever pay. Whoa, give us our money back. I think many of us feel that way. The truth is, I think so much more is starting to come out. And their corruption has been exposed. And I think, people get laid off all the time for jobs, and it's an unfortunate thing and it's an unfortunate part of life. But when you're spreading mass propaganda and lies on mainstream television, we've got some issues with that, right? And I absolutely do. Anyhow, wanted to share the story with you as a quick reminder. Please get on over to lisahavengold.com. If you guys haven't gotten there, I want to encourage you to check it out. As you know, stock market crashes can happen, and they do happen. All you have to do is ask some of the bigger companies like Nvidia, who lost 600 billion overnight. They lost a ton of money. And the truth of the matter is, you don't want to be stuck in something like that. That's why I want to encourage you to go to lisahavengold.com, fill out that information, click get my free guide. They're going to send you this free gold and silver investment guide. And by the way, Noble Gold is sounding the alarm on that. And they're really encouraging people. Now is the time to diversify and make sure you have gold, silver, and precious metals. And right now, if you give them a call at the number on the screen, they'll send you this up to 2 of these 5-ounce silver coins here that you see on the screen right here. This thing is absolutely amazing. But make sure you mention my name, and that is with any approved plan. But with that, if you want more information, click that more button if you're on your cell phone, or click the link in the description box below. And by the way, there's always a risk to investing. There's never a guarantee, but please make sure you check them out. Anyhow, I love you all. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.